Blobject, a design product, often a brightly colored household object which has smooth curves and no sharp edges. The word is portmanteau of blob and object. Originally conceived in December 1989 by Stefano Giovanni and Guido Ventuini with their collection titled Bar Maddalena. This collection of designs clearly projects the early concept of a blobject with its brightly highlighted circular objects on the wall of the ominous rooms. You can also notice a peculiar Shrek-looking face inside the blue rooms. I theorize that these, as well as the vacant chairs and light fixtures, were an attempt to give the viewer a subconscious feeling of life within a place that is desolate of such. In my opinion, these works are a great beginning to the blobject trend and a good template for future designers to draw inspiration from. Luigi Kalani has become famous for his, quote, organic biodesign. I'm just editing now and I realized I didn't mention that he actually died in 2019. Buried in a coffin of his own design, I'll say. That's just absolutely legendary. I don't know anyone who's fucking his done for that. So rest his soul. He missed out on the pandemic. I feel sorry for him. Which is just a professional term for the designing of classy blobjects. In a career spanning over 50 years, he has designed an astonishing 5,000 industrial and consumer products. What I think his most interesting designs come from his prototypes. For example, look at this. Can you tell what it is? At first I thought it was some kind of arcade machine for a spaceship. I don't know. But they're ATMs. I bet you didn't think that. He got an award in 2003 for this design, but unfortunately they aren't used today. I know I'd be delighted to use an ATM like this instead of the boring normal ones. Another design in his prototype portfolio is this speedboat, which I absolutely adore and wish was made into an actual vehicle. Like, look at it. It reminds me of like some crazy hovercraft from the Jetsons, but made into a real-life object. I understand the philosophy behind the future 2000s style blobjects, but I genuinely think that society of today would continue to even slightly integrate and enjoy this aesthetic if the designs of the future blobjects had the same vision as Luigi in the early years of the trend. Another one of the awards that he earned came from his Cyberpen. This is an example of an object that would be enjoyed today if the blobject concept wasn't degraded by the more modern designs of the 2000s. Despite its simple architecture, you can clearly tell that a significant amount of effort went into the fine grooves and crevices to make a balance of comfort and classy design, and for a pen that's very impressive to me. In conclusion to Luigi's career, he is the sole reason that the blobject trend peaked quite early. One of the easiest things to imagine when you hear the definition of a blobject is probably a chair. Maybe you think of a beanbag-esque design of plastic, or one of these desk chair combinations that frankly look like they're trying too hard. But another perspective of this aesthetic is the not so blobjects.
I just want to say in editing right now that this makes no fucking sense. This is not a blobject. I just wanted to talk about the fucking chair. But you know, it's my video, so I'll do what I want.
Which take the colors and the vibe of the time to create something that isn't completely smooth. Such as this chair named the Soft Cell. Designed by Studio Eislinger in 1999, basically the Soft Cell is a slab of technogel webbed in a fiberglass frame, inspired by Nike's high-tech shoes of the time. For those who don't know, technogel is essentially a patented material that is used in hospital beds and wheelchairs that prevent pressure wounds from laying or sitting down for too long. They're also used in pillows and mattresses and said to be very comfy. But it looks like jelly. Speaking of Nike's high-tech shoes, they're another pretty good example of a not-so-blob Blobject. For example, the Nike Total Air Foam Postite Max, I don't know the name, but it's very blobby and the Nike logo is very reflective, and it would fit in very well with any movie from 2012 set in the 90s. But they do look quite cool, I will say, as a Blobject. Not very colorful though, which isn't the end of the world.
I was looking at the grey ones. I thought only the grey ones existed. There's clearly blue ones right here in the video. I thought only the grey ones existed.
Without a doubt, one of my favorite Blobject designs has to come from the Gizmodo handheld game console. Now, the real reason this is my favorite is the story behind the console itself, which involves a lot of stupid executive decisions leading to this being the worst selling game console of all time, with less than 25,000 sold. Before its launch, due to its comprehensive feature set and intention to compete with Nintendo and Sony, the Gizmodo received high hopes from certain journalists. Nonetheless, it ultimately failed miserably in terms of sales. Despite never turning a profit, the corporation behind it extravagantly spent millions on advertising, including a celebrity party at London's Park Lane Hotel, and participating in the 24-hour Le Mans. Its release in America was repeatedly postponed, and just before it was to be released, a widescreen version was revealed, which had a negative impact on sales, obviously. Gizmodo's executive Stefan Eriksson's participation with the Swedish organized crime scene, and later arrest for wrecking his Ferrari Enzo that was owned under money by the Royal Bank of Scotland, added to Gizmodo's issues, as you could tell. He admitted to a number of offenses and was sentenced to 2 years in prison. Anyways, it's clear that this is a clean and modernized design of the original Blobject concept. It's not too out there, but at the same time it rings home to what it's inspired by. And I enjoy it a lot. Unfortunately, there is a design flaw with the material that it's made out of, causing it to melt, essentially. But I won't be getting into that. Moving on to what I see as the gross unoriginality of some of the most popular Blobject designs. The iMac G3 from 1998. I don't give a shit how classy and aesthetic it looks. I really dislike the design of this computer. The neon-colored translucent plastic kind of design has never really resonated with me on any product I've ever used or seen. It's taking inspiration from Luigi but completely disregarding any of the truly in-depth thought that it took to create his designs. I mean, it's a blob for sure, but it takes a lot of soul out of what it means to design something with challengingly rounded proportions. And in my opinion, since it was incredibly popular, it was a very significant cause for the downfall and eventual death of the popular use of the Blobject design philosophy. And I will hate it forever for that fact. But moving on. Now, I've spent much too long talking about this without even mentioning the classiest, swaggiest, and fanciest light fixture which perfectly presented the blobs that are key to a good Blobject. The lava lamp. Now, this symbol of the 60s was born as long and as far away from what it's known for as you could probably get. Post-World War II England, by out of anyone an accountant named Edward Carvin Walker. Edward Carvin Walker, 3 names. He was given the concept from a self-made egg timer that he noticed in a bar. Walker spent a decade and a half with this thought in his mind and spent hours on end in his little garage making what we all know and love today as the lava lamp. While he was doing this, he made a name for himself outside of the lava lamp, filming underwater nudist movies. And using that notoriety, in 1963, he began promoting what he knew at the time as the Astro Lamp. Then, coincidentally, just in time for the big explosion of culture that the 60s had, Walker's lamp became noticed at a German trade show by some random Americans who we don't even know about. It hasn't been documented anywhere who these people were, but they were at a German trade show and brought it back to America and then patented it as the lava lamp. Its arrival into the US was flawlessly timed with the beginning of the counterculture and peace of the 1960s, and its crazy design, absolutely insane, also fit in quite well with the times as the space race kind of expanded the minds of the people thinking outside of the world and looking at the balls of wax in the lava lamp and thinking of other universes or whatever they're doing. After the 60s, the lava lamps would rebound with a wave of nostalgia in the 90s, and as of now, it's earned an everlasting vicinity in cool people's houses all around the world. Don't worry, I'll get one soon because I know I'm cool enough for one. I don't know if you are, but I am. Nonetheless, the lava lamp will forever stay a symbol of the 60s. Lava lamp tangent over, I would like to mention one more wacky, crazy Blobject design. It was more of a community than a specific design, but it was Max Power. Now, for those who don't know, Max Power was a magazine from the UK in the early 2000s, which would take bland old loser cars, cheap cars, and basically make them the price of a Porsche and turn them into supercars and give them PlayStations and very big speakers, and also you were promised a bunch of hot babes, so they were worth it for that at least. But nonetheless, in the spirit of such Max Power, I shall show you what I mean instead of tell.
Now, I was gonna maybe do like a montage of my own or something, but I kinda just want to show you this video made by Jamie's Magic Torch in 2012 with 8,000 views. Just because of this one fucking guy in the comments who commented truly awful editing and truly awful filmography. And I kind of just want to read out Jamie's response to both of them. And it's I think he took it a bit too seriously. Truly awful filmography. Unless you're a troll or a spam bot, you just posted a Trump-esque comment to the internet. Why so filmography? Film-a-fucking-tography? Correct me if I'm wrong. Are you expecting a genuine cinematic experience when viewing what is essentially a music video compilation of clips from a modified car show? I mean, I was supposed to hire a DOP for the day. If you understand the purpose of that job, that is. Trump-esque? Because your comment was utterly irrelevant to the context of the video. Because you're remarking on filmography whilst you're watching something which has been compressed to shit by youtube.com in H.264. It matters not if you're watching through a tier 1 fiber connection. YouTube have and do crush the quality out of all uploaded videos so that it takes up far less free space on their servers. And you comment on filmography? Truly awful editing. Trump or troll. Once again, another idiot level, completely out of context remark, somehow referring to a music video compilation from a modified car show. I mean, were you expecting something worthy of Boyle or Tarantino? Or are you just yet another fool on the internet who writes vexatious guff and presses submit without engaging your brain at all? When you're a member of BAFTA or the RTS, come at me, bro. I feel like this guy's video deserves more recognition. After that, he came back. No, listen. He came back after 7 years to write these comments. This video is 10 years old and these comments are 3 years old. Can you fucking believe that? He's actually defending this. 20-year-old footage. 10-year-old YouTube video. So I think it deserves to just be shown a little bit. And that's what I'm gonna do.
We should let the people at home know exactly what they're missing. Are you ready for this?
Everybody be cool. You be cool. Be cool.